is a Windup Girl by Paolo Blaxigalupi. In a world drowning under rising sea levels, stifled by genetic plagues, Bangkok stands as the last bastion of the old world. But inside, the pressure is rising, energy is scarce, and bioengineered beings are abused, and political factions are winding the city towards an inevitable explosion. First is drowning world running on calories. Bangkok is a humid oven, protected but also threatened by the rising oceans that are held back. In this post-oil era, this world has reverted in kinetic energy. Fossil fuels are gone, and the community runs on calories. And also having companies called calorie companies that supposedly sell these companies. Outside the city, the world is ravaged by genetic plagues like blister rust and sebaceous. Bangkok is a quarantine fortress, terrified of biological contamination entering through food or people. Next is an introduction about the new people. They're engineered for service, like Emiko, the Windup Girl, that is a important character in the Windup Girl. Emiko, she's a new person, genetically engineered in Japan to be the perfect servant or companion. To Scythe, she is a soulless Windup, an abomination. The flaw of the new people is that she cannot sweat properly. In the tropical heat of Bangkok, she is constantly on the verge of lethal overheating. The reality, abandoned by her former patron in Japan, she is forced in slavery in a degradation club. She is abused and dehumanized, yet physically, she is faster and deadlier than any natural human. Only those abilities are are extinguished by her feeling to serve people. Next is the environmental ministry and the trade ministry. They all want different things. The environmental ministry, or the white shirts, want isolation and protection. They police the borders to keep genetic plagues and foreign influence out. They burn illegal imports and enforce purity. Next is the trade ministry. They are led by politician Akarat. They seek to open Thailand to global trade, foreign companies, and new technology, arguing that isolation leads to starvation. The stakes is that the city is caught in deadly lock between the safety of isolation and the wealth of trade. In other words, both of the ministries are right in a way, but they have dangers in another. Next is the characters. Anderson Lake, the Agrigan man, has a fragile allegiance with Hawksin, the refugee, or a yellow card. Now, formerly a wealthy businessman and now destitute, he manages Anderson's factory, scheming to regain his lost status. And Anderson is secretly a corporate spy, seeking the legendary seed bank to restore global agriculture and dominance. Next is JD, the tiger. Captain JD, also known as the Tiger, is the moral heart of the Environment Ministry. He is the only force holding back the corruption of the Trade Ministry. The plot is that JD is overmaneuvered by his rival Akarat, or the Trade Ministry, and to save his family from ruins, he submits to forced monkhood, removing the city's moral check from the board. The spy and the Windup. The incident. Anderson saves Emiko when she collapses from overheating, and he is fascinated and intrigued by her, and is extremely drawn to her and what she represents. The secret is that Emiko reveals the rumor of haven for new people in the north. She is desperate to escape her slavery. Anderson hides her, turning his factory into a sanctuary for an illegal being. Next is the Marty Room of the Tiger. The trigger is even in the monastery, JD is not safe. His family is targeted, and And after he heard of his wife's fate, he is enraged. JD breaks his vows. He storms the Ministry of Trade to kill Akarat. JD is overpowered and is killed. His death radicalized his new lieutenant, Kanya. She is literally and metaphorically haunted by his ghost, torn between duty and revenge for JD. The door threw open. Was JD dead? The Trade Ministry seizes control. Akarat enacts policy shift, opening side to foreign calorie companies and global trade ships. The consequence is that Anderson is empowered to facilitate deals, but the city's biological defenses crumble. A mysterious new plague begins spreading through the population, confirming the Environment Ministry's worst fears. Next, Windup snaps. Emiko returns to the club and faces brutal abuse. Pushed beyond her limit, the severity programming fails against her rage. Using her genetically modified speed, she slaughters the club staff, and visiting a high-rank official, Samdet Chowprai, the Windup Girl transforms the victim to apex predator. Next is a city in freefall. Emiko's violence triggers a citywide panic. She flees into the street, hunted by everyone. Kanya's betrayal. Seeing the city fall to plague and foreign influence, Kanya makes a pivotal change. She utilizes the chaos to turn the Environment Ministry forces against the Trade Ministry, fulfilling JD's wish for purity. Anderson's failure. The city becomes a war zone. Anderson's quest for the seed bank is abandoned for simple survival. Revolution. The power keg explodes. Akarat attempts the final coup, but the Environment Ministry fights back. The city descends into civil war. The fragile systems all collapse. The orderly dystopia dissolves into anarchy. Next is escape from the ruins. Hawk Sin fails to sell his stolen designs, flees towards the interior of the country, becoming a refugee once more. Kanya emerges from the wreckage in a position of unexpected power, having survived the pour. Emiko no longer hiding, she navigates the ruined city not as a slave but as a survivor. Anderson, his corporate mission ends in failure. He loses control of assets and disappears into the chaos. As the water rises, the city resets. The old corrupt structures are destroyed. The levees have failed, and the city faces a drowned existence. But in discussion, there a strange optimism. The stagnation is broken. Emiko is free. A new uncertain future begins from the ashes of the old world. This book is for readers interested in complex dystopian worlds, climate change and bioengineering, also exploring the definition of humanity.